Leeds, third bottom of the table, need inspiration from somewhere, and perhaps Bell can provide it against Paris, the side immediately below them in the table. Sky Sports covering the big games and the big stories this summer. What thoughts must be going through his mind? A big gamble, or was it inevitable that Bell would return as Leeds summer goes from bad to worse? The pressure on him must be enormous. Match referee today is Colin Morris. He's just checking with the touch judges we're all ready, and this game here at Headingley is about to get underway. An intriguing match. Leeds against Paris, third bottom, second bottom, and Leeds know if they lose here today, they will go to next to bottom in the table. But Dean Bell in quickly with the first tackle of the afternoon. The Leeds coach taking the big gamble, not the captain though. The captaincy rests on the shoulders of one Tony Kemp. It's Paris, though, who are in possession in a brand new strip here this afternoon. That's Jason Sands taking that tackle. New outfits, new sponsors for the men across the channel. Vincent Wolfe was the dummy half. Little Patrick Onta, former Leeds scrum half, of course, gets the kick in, and he finds touch. The Leeds side, Marcus St. Hilaire, the fullback, Marvin Golden, Dean Bell, Kevin Iro, Phil Hassan, Tony Kemp and Graham Holroyd. Up front, Gary Mercer, Mick Shaw, Barry McDermott, Adrian Morley, Terry Newton and David Hume. And on the bench, Adam Hughes, Jamie Field, Sataki Tuipiloto and Nick Fozzard. The player coach, Dean Bell. Paris Saint-Germain, Dion Bird at fullback, Freddie Bonquet, Eric Vergnol, Pierre Chamaran and George Wilson, Fabien Devecchi and Patrick Onta. Up front, Didier Cabastani, Vincent Wolfe and Jason Sands, Jules Parry, Danny Smith and Jacques Peche. And on the bench, Via Bloomfield, Pascal Bomati, Justin Bryant, just in from the London Broncos, and Jonathan Griffiths, just in from Wakefield Rugby Union. Coach, of course, Michel Mazeret. This is Kevin Iro, straight up the middle, and Paris hanging on to him and being caught for the flop.
Strong run there by the big centre. Kevin Iro really looks in fine form today. Devecchi was flopped right over the top. Jason Sands involved also. First penalty of the game.
So first opportunity for Graham Holroyd to get the Leeds score going. Penalty, bang in front, good way out, good kick. No problems for Holroyd, his 55th goal in Super League, ever present during the summer so far. Interesting times at Headingley.
More like desperation times, really, when Gary Mercer, the New Zealander prop, and of course having to bring Dean Bell out of retirement as a player. That's a big gamble. He must have thought about it for quite some time. Nice work though by Onta, put a lot of pressure on it, but Iro was quick to seize.
This is Terry Newton, teenager, signed as a hooker, playing today in the second row. Mick Shaw is the hooker, he was the dummy half. Got it to Holroyd, and out wide then to Iro, who misses out his coach and finds Marvin Golden. Good tackling in the end on that far side by George Wilson, the man whose 2 tries late on, of course, destroyed London at the Charlotte Stadium just a couple of weeks ago. Leeds anxious to get on with it. This is Mick Shaw. Typical little scampering run from the young hooker.
Quick thinking as well from Shaw. He really is the danger man on this lead side, and so is this fellow.
Iro saw a gap, and the support is there, but it's forward. The pass was forward to David Hume, and Kevin Iro rather cannot believe it.
Well, I don't know why. He held on to it. It was a nice step on the inside. They failed to shove in, and you can see that the ball just went forward. Tremendous positioning by the referee, Colin Morris.
McDermott.
Good driving run from the prop forward, and that's what need. They're messing around as they play the ball. Another penalty. Second occasion that Paris have been caught for this. Could see there Onta came over, and it was sort of a flop. Sands were holding him down. Silly penalty to give away.
Well, the last thing Leeds need, of course, is another defeat here at Headingley. 6 defeats from 8 matches in front of their own supporters. It's been an awful summer for them here to endure. And that really is the reason why I think we're seeing Dean Bell operating in the side today rather than directing operations from the sideline. Newton is the dummy half. He makes good ground. Ball down.
Jules Parry got a stray elbow in the face. He's just getting back to the defence now.
Holroyd switching the direction, losing the possession though, but it'll be a knock-on against Paris Saint-Germain, and Cabestany and Mercer squaring up to each other.
Holroyd got it away, and you could see that the hand there definitely got in the way. Didier Cabestany.
Leeds head and feed. Holroyd gets it to the big number 15, McDermott, who didn't back down in that scrum, I don't think. He was standing in the stand-off position.
Well, an unusual ploy there to use the big fella as a stand-off. It was good defence. Don't often see that.
This is David Hume. Just slipped again. We've seen a little bit of that this week, haven't we? Particularly on Friday night, the players were slipping and sliding all over the place. Kemp and Holroyd on the run around. Holroyd's through the defence, and Holroyd gets the try. And Leeds, I must say, looking in determined mood here this afternoon. Holroyd cut through the defence. It was wafer thin, and Holroyd gets the try.
Nice play by Leeds. But I'm afraid the defence from Dion Bird, the full-back, they did the run around there, and you can see Bird never really got to him. But nice play, a simple run down. There's McDermott. It was plain standoff, an unusual ploy by Leeds, but promise. Long ball out wide. Look at the run around now. It tightens the defence. Bird's moved up, far too shallow. Couldn't get to him. Good work by Holroyd.
Leeds leading try scorer Graham Holroyd, as well as their goal kicker Graham Holroyd. And he scored all 6 points so far. He scored all 8 points so far. Leeds 8, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Holroyd restarts then. A match that Leeds are desperate to win. And Dion Bird makes a real meal of fielding the kickoff.
Well, he didn't get to the tackle, and that's exactly what the crowd are doing, giving that man the bird. Woeful mistake.
Former Brisbane reserve grader Dion Bird, a former Aussie under-19 representative, and Tony Kemp, the Kiwi, gets another try. Leeds are taking control early in this match here. Kemp with the try directly from the base of the scrum.
Well, the tactics of switching and changing. There's the standoff playing loose forward, and it's paying off. Pick the ball up from the base. This is what it all came about. Bird made a real meal of it. The resulting scrum, and you can see there, Holroyd peels off. Ontar goes with him. The loose forward couldn't get anywhere near to him.
Tony Kemp has played just one of the last 3 matches. He does make a big difference to this team, as he did against Castleford in June here, their last home win, and he scored the try. Now Holroyd, 2 from 2, and another quick opportunity for him to add to the total, which he does easily with the left foot. Leeds 14, Paris 0. They need to produce inspiration from somewhere. Maybe it will come here from Sands. 4-3 the penalty count in Leeds' favour. Patrick Antar was not too impressed when he received a warning earlier on from Colin Morris. about possible sin binnings, but the statistics tell their own story.
Well, this Paris outfit, especially the pack, have got to start running a little bit forward and a little bit more enthusiastic.
Nowhere for Devechi to go.
They are very lethargic at the moment. They've got to pick up the tempo, and very quickly.
Here's Devechi now, and this now is Bloomfield. Vincent Wolf, Patrick Onta, misses out Pierre Chamarin, finds Bonke. Good defence from Phil Hassan. Dabbed through again by Onta, but Gary Mercer got there first.
Not so sure. I think these might be a try.
But it went very, very quiet, and I think it's Dion Bird who has come up with the 4 points.
Good play by the full-back. He beat Mercer to it. Well, it was stunned silence from the Leeds crowd. And for once, the kick from Ontar was inch perfect. Mercer had all the time in the world there, but full credit to the fullback, Dion Bird. Just got it down. Excellent little chip through. A planned move, that there's no doubt, and gets it there before the right foot goes over the whitewash. Well, it's a fourth that is put in from Patrick Ontar. Little kick like that, and they gleefully get the 4, and they needed them.
3 tries in 5 games now for Dion Bird since he arrived from Brisbane. He would have enjoyed that. Danny Smith then. We will always remember those 2 goals he kicked against London, and we will now remember that goal he has kicked against Leeds. Paris are back in it at 14 points to 6 down, but that will give them encouragement. So the try scorer, Dion Bird, gets us underway again, and Terry Newton will run this ball back for Leeds. Shaw to Holroyd, and this is Phil Hassan, a man who recently signed a new deal to keep him at Headingley. They rate him highly here. Dean Bell.
You can see the effort straight away from the substitute, 28, Justin Bryant, formerly from the London Broncos, just signed for Paris Saint-Germain. He's certainly putting some effort into it, but that was very dodgy.
Not so sure he didn't actually connect with Danny Smith then. Danny Smith is now limping back into the defensive line for Paris. 2 former London players, of course, and Bryant there surely impeded Mick Shaw, and I think he's going to be taking... He's off. Well, it's a red card. I was going to say he's going to be taking 10 minutes with a professional foul, but he's off for good. That's red for Bryant. He's only been on 2 seconds.
Well, it was a shoulder charge. I know he went pretty hard, and he's barely been on the field a minute. Got involved in no less than 3 tackles, and is off.
What a debut for Justin Bryant. And is the red card justified?
I don't think so. It wasn't a high swinging arm or the elbow. I know something had to be done, but that is beyond belief. After what we've seen over the past couple of weeks, I just cannot believe that that has resulted in a red card. Well, a kick through, and it was late, but it was just a shoulder charge. Now, you could see the left arm go up. Perhaps referee Colin Morris thought it was the elbow.
Kemp to Holroyd, to Iro, to Marcus St. Hilaire. He's all wrapped up by Devechi. Shaw scampers away again, typical fashion, finds Holroyd. He finds Kemp. The burst from Morley, the support from Kemp. Out wide was Dean Bell, and Dean Bell was hunting the try. He still is. Dabbed through Mercer, but all wrapped up by Danny Smith.
Not a bad option. Rain has been falling in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so keeping the ball low by Mercer always can cause a problem, but it was taken well by Smith.
Cavastani takes the tackle. Up the middle comes Jason Sands.
That's much better running from the forwards. That's what they've been lacking so far, taking on the defence. Now they're running to it. It's amazing what a try can do.
Oh, mistake by Freddie Bonke.
But there was, yeah, because the player was, but he's injured. Not that the referee would know that. Now you must roll away. Now whether
David Hume it is who's flat out.
Or whether he's just tried to, yeah, you can see he was in a lot of agony. So therefore, that's the reason why Colin Morris gave the penalty.
And he's still in agony, David Hume, so he wasn't feigning injury. He's receiving treatment now as Jason Sands goes on the run.
Well, that was just the penalty that Paris needed.
This is Vincent Wolfe. Now Patrick Onta and Cavastani wrestle to the ground, 8 metres short of the line. Wolfe making good ground. Leeds for a moment just sleeping in defence. Half a metre short. Bloomfield into the arms of Smith. There was a big gap for Smith. It was quickly closed down by Mercer, and the ball has come free. Marcus St. Hilaire.
Good low tackle, though, by Tony Kemp. Mercer came over the top, and that's why he lost the football. Good combination, and they came up with possession. It was pretty high, though, wasn't it, from Mercer over the top? Wasn't seen by any of the officials. This is getting a little bit lively, a bit tasty out there.
Iro to Holroyd, and Kemp brushes away from the tackle of Danny Smith, and Danny Smith is hurt. He's twisted his ankle.
Well, this is Smith going for it, and you can see that Mercer went well high over the top. Well, we've seen someone sent off for using a shoulder charge.
Holroyd will dab the ball over the top. There's two after it, Hassan and Iro. Hassan's blown it. Iro touches down, but the referee will play the knock-on against Phil Hassan. A chance goes begging.
Great tactic there. And he came off his chest. Off his leg first, then off his chest.
Now Kemp. On the inside, it was David Hume, fully recovered from that injury. Divecci with the last tackle on him. Iro, they're loading up here. Holroyd gets over, and does he get it down? Yes, he does. Second try for Graham Holroyd. They had so many options, Leeds on the left-hand side, and Holroyd now goes into double figures for try scoring in Super League.
Nice work by Leeds to get into this position. You can see that Iro chose to go on the blind side. It's a nice little flick back, and good work there by Graham Holroyd. Strength got him over in the end. On the blind side, you could see he holds the ball up. You could see the Shamaran was sucked in, but they went far too high. Couldn't stop him.
So Holroyd with the try, and Holroyd now will try and add another 2 points to Leeds and his total. 3 out of 5. That's 6 points and 2 tries. So 14 points for Holroyd, 16 points for Holroyd, and 20 for Leeds. 20 points to 6 as we approach half-time. The Leeds fans have never known a season like this. It's probably been the worst in living memory for them. The one-time Bank of England club have fallen on hard times. But they are 14 points to the good up against Paris Saint-Germain, the team immediately below them in the Super League table.
Well, how's that for a man that totally lost the confidence, even though he scored the tie? Dion Bird made 2 bad mistakes there. Should have taken that on the full, allowed it to bounce, caught it with his foot. He got away with it, though.
And Eric Verniol got away with a possible knock-on. The ball, though, going backwards through his legs. Had to play the ball. That was high from Dean Bell.
Didn't miss, did he? And there you can see, didn't help with the big prop forward, Barry McDermott, coming in with the shoulder. Nothing wrong with that. This one, I mean. Pretty high from Bell. Just a warning from the referee on the run.
But his last game for Brisbane was in the Winfield Cup, but Dean Bell's last game for Leeds something like 12 years ago. And a little schmozzle between Cabestany and Hume on the halfway line as Dean Bell leads his men off the field to enter the dressing room with a very handy lead at half-time, 20 points to 6. Holroyd certainly the star of the show. He has scored 2 tries and got 3 goals as well. And Michel Mazeret, the French coach, who looks after Paris Saint-Germain alongside John Keir these days, anxious to get into the dressing room now and give some words of wisdom. He'll need them too. Paris trailing 20 points to 6. Half here at Headingley, and it's going to be Paris Saint-Germain in the figure of Dion Bird who gets this match back in progress. Paris Saint-Germain, of course, down to 12 men after the dismissal of Justin Bryant in the first half, and very much up against it too against this Leeds side, leading by 20 points to 6 with coach Dean Bell out there on the field as well. And Leeds today being watched by a number of local amateur rugby league clubs that they have invited to Headingley to see this fixture. They have had quite a few of the clubs taking up the tickets, and they're aiming to foster their relationship with the local amateur scene during the course of the summer. And indeed next month, as Marvin Golden goes to the ground, they are going to be running coaching courses here for children under the age of 16. And we wish them all the very best with that project. This now is Eric Verniol, and he's tackled by Tony Kemp and Dean Bell. Onta again. Crowd just silent at the moment, waiting for the fireworks to explode again. Certainly towards the end of the first half, Paris started to play with a little more vim and vigour. But that was a terrific tackle from Kemp. It was a flying tackle in on the man in possession. Bonke did well to retain the ball for Paris, and what's more, Paris Saint-Germain now have a penalty for the flop again.
Sin bin time too. Way over the top.
David Hume.
Silly play from an experienced player like David Hume.
Well, the referee warned them in the first half, and he has carried out his threat. So both sides now down to 12 men for 10 minutes at least.
It was a wonderful tackle, though, wasn't it, from Tony Kemp on his opposite, Fabien De Vecchi, and De Vecchi felt that.
And Vincent Wolf comes up with a blunder very early in the tackle count.
Well, there could be some excuse for the fact that one of the Leeds players came across the path of the play of the ball. He could have been penalised for it, but he should have picked it up anyway.
Rain is streaming down here at Headingley. Maybe that's an excuse for the mistakes that the players are making. Good run from Adrian Morley. Morley, the England international, of course, this season. Mercer, the New Zealand international, dumped to the ground by Jason Sands. McShaw, dummy half. McDermott will take Leeds over the halfway line. Good run.
Determined charge there by McDermott. And I must say, his fellow prop today, Gary Mercer, is also playing hard. Making a good fist of it is Mercer.
Dean Bell, the dummy half, to Mercer. McShaw is down and will need some treatment to an injury. Kick for the corner meanwhile. Bonke is content to allow the ball to run touch in goal, and it could have been very dodgy.
Well-weighted kick there from Graham Holroyd. And you can see Frederick Bonke just letting it go dead in goal.
Because Phil Hassan was steaming up down the wing. But the gamble came off. Now Cabestany with those flowing locks. Sean. Certainly has a haircut now built for speed, a bit like yours, Steve-O.
Won't disagree over that.
Verniol through the gap. Passes the ball inside to Wolf. Danny Smith is there to take it over for Paris Saint-Germain. Gets them to the 20-metre line. Onta dummy half. De Vecchi. Bloomfield gave the call. There's a big gap for Bloomfield. He'll score next to the posts. Oh, and there was a little flick of the boot there as Bloomfield scored the try, and Patrick Onta wagging a very angry finger at the Leeds player. Bloomfield with the third try then of Super League for him.
Good work by Paris Saint-Germain. Ball back on the inside. Great play there by De Vecchi, and the big fella in for a try. Well, that wasn't the best effort, was it? You could see that Adrian Morley was sliding in. Well, he got a bad knock, did De Vecchi, but he played well there, the inside run. And once this big fella gets going, it's hard to stop, but that we could have done without. Quite dangerous play there by the second rower, Adrian Morley. But watch De Vecchi. See how he sucked in the defence. It was an amazing hole there. And there you see what on earth was Morley thinking of there. Bloomfield gets the ball down. They know they're going to score the try. Well, if that's not an attack at a player's head, what is?
Well, Onta was furious and was wagging a finger, and the referee Colin Morris has had a word with Onta and now has brought the touch judge on. The two captains together, and Adrian Morley will go on report, and the disciplinary committee will look at that later on this week.
Well, I cannot believe that. Colin Morris sends a man off for a shoulder charge, and you could see quite clearly someone attacked someone's head with the knee. Come on.
So what a start to this second half for Paris Saint-Germain, and Danny Smith will add the extras from bang in front. And Paris aren't out of this yet. What's more, the referee has given a penalty for the incident when Morley went through with the knee.
So this will be an 8-pointer. The crowd are just beginning to realise what has occurred. Grumblings are building with the crowd now. Well, it was deserved of an extra 2.
Oh, and Danny Smith has hit the post. How on earth did he do that? Well, that is tossing points away.
That was just like a Euro 96 penalty shootout. Well, this is the incident, and that is silly play by Morley. And this should have been a gift, 2 points.
Well, he scored 2 goals off the touchline against the London Broncos, and he misses from bang in front. Funny game, rugby league, someone once said.
Well, it was 2 vital points, because that would have just put them within a converted try of Leeds. That's a let-off for Leeds.
And now the Paris side have been caught offside by Colin Morris at the play of the ball.
Plenty to choose from. Patrick Onta was very quick off the mark.
This now is Hume, out of the sin bin, rested. Good tackle, it had to be, and it came in from Dion Bird. Mick Shaw now. Mick Shaw scouses them straight through the middle, underneath the posts. Well, he looks to do that every time he gets the ball at dummy half, does Mick Shaw. He started the last 4. He lost his place to Terry Newton, but that's the sort of play that has pushed him back into Super League contention.
Just what the doctor ordered. Tremendous stuff there. Both players are offside. He knew it too. He had the speed. Wonderful run from the little hooker. As I said, what the doctor ordered, and Leeds were looking sick. But they should mend them. What a time and what a try. He knew they were offside. Dion Bird couldn't get anywhere near. Neither could Smith.
Mick Shaw's try then, his 4th in Super League, the 1995 Alliance Player of the Year, and Graham Holroyd doesn't miss those. 26-12. And the round of applause is for the coach, Dean Bell, who goes off. Well, 4 straight defeats behind them. Leeds will celebrate this victory, if victory it turns out to be. But it looks like they are on course to finish in the bottom three in this inaugural Super League season. Amazing, they were runners-up to Wigan over the past 2 years. That's better defence from Leeds, though. This is what they started out like. Well, very enthusiastic.
At least it's given the crowd something to cheer about. The game had virtually gone to sleep.
Never played it. Mind you, Mercer was taking a piggyback.
Yep. Wouldn't allow him to get over it. You'll see Mercer straddles him.
Adrian Morley with a little run, tackled by Onta, and Leeds are through the 200 mark in terms of tackling. Paris 161. McDermott really dipped his shoulder and his knees then to try and run through the tackler. Iro gets the ball over the top looking for Golden, who did well, really well, to keep in the field of play. Cavastani got a fingertip to that. It will be a knock-on against Cavastani. Gary Mercer isn't interested in the referee's whistle this time, though, and Cavastani and Mercer, it's been bubbling between those two all afternoon.
Pardon, Monsieur Mercer. Well, once again, we see not the best pass from Kevin Iro. Tried hard, did Marvin Golden, to keep it in the field of play and got away with it. And it was Cavastani that was deemed to have knocked on, and he was right, the referee.
Dean Bell has returned to the fray because Phil Hassan is in the blood bin.
Well, Dean Bell will be telling the Chargers now to not do anything stupid, just use the big forwards.
And that was a good ball from Hume to Newton. Good tackling, though. Great tackle. Hume is still there. The tackle was by Dion Bird, incidentally. Here's Bell. Well, I wonder whether he would love a try to crown his comeback. I'm sure he would. But Jason Sands' tackle denies him. It's the last one. And Mercer, the referee, will penalise Paris Saint-Germain here. And what's more, Sands is on his way to the sin bin.
He made no attempt to roll out of it. Well, you can see Colin Morris there. I think that notebook must be full by now, with all the penalties and sin bins, sending offs.
Well, Paris now are down to 11 men.
The rule states that once you've made the tackle, you must roll away from the play the ball area. Quite clearly, should I say, that Sands didn't do that. Didn't look pretty either, did it?
So Jason Sands takes his seat on the bench. Paris now down to 11. Leeds with a full complement of 13. Less than 10 minutes to go. Leeds now really should cut loose. They might, after this penalty attempt from Graham Holroyd. Holroyd gets two more. Adds to his personal tally and to the Leeds total, which now is 28 points to 12. David Hume. Holroyd up the middle, supported by Mercer. Over the top it goes to Newton. Out wide it comes to Bell, and Dean Bell crowns the day. He gets the try. His first in top flight rugby league for over 12 months. And his first for Leeds here at Headingley for over 12 years.
Keeping the ball alive, the experience of Dean Bell finally turning on the switch. Look how they get the ball around. Mercer once again looking for work. Over the top. Newton did well here. Long ball out wide, and this brought the fans to their feet. Been a long time since Dean Bell has laced the boots. But Super League debut will be remembered for not just the win, but also for these 4 points. He would have enjoyed that.
Dean Bell returns to the bench in a reversal of the earlier blood bin, and the last try he scored in British football was at Wembley in 1993 against Widnes. Holroyd sweeps the ball towards the posts. Another 2 points. 34 points to 12. Adam Hughes, here he is. First touch has just come on the field. Played last week in a beaten side, substitute today in a winning side. He's come on for Kevin Iro.
Well, that last try from Leeds, they got the tactics right, keeping the ball alive. Remember, Paris down to 11 men now for the remaining section of this game. Oh, what a hit, but he came off second best. Jonathan Griffiths and McDermott.
And Griffiths, his knees are buckling after this.
That was one big hit, one big collision.
Mercer to Newton.
Well, it would top it off for me if Barry McDermott, the big prop forward, could get over for a try. He deserves one.
Holroyd through the middle, still going. Hauled down. It's on the last tackle. That is the turnover.
Once again, Leeds, the right tactics against 11 men, keeping the ball alive, running the power play on the last.
Bonke did well then. He stepped out of one challenge and he made another 15 metres ground, which is Pascal Bomati. Vincent Wolf, the call on the inside was from Griffiths. Well, a comfortable victory in the end for Leeds, but one gets the feeling that both these sides have a lot of hard work to do during the off-season to build on their first summer of football, as Bloomfield drops the ball yet again for the umpteenth handling error of this match. And they have a lot of work to do, Steve-O, to build on this for next season.
Yes. Cement the foundations for 97. As we mentioned earlier, there have been sections in this game where both coaches will be pleased, but also quite a few incidents that would not have pleased the coaching staff. They've got to dig deep. They've got to start building now.
Jules Parry has returned for Paris Saint-Germain, and Leeds too have made a late change. Kevin Iro has come back on, and Adrian Morley is the man who has made way for him. This is Adam Hughes.
Full credit, though, for this Paris side when they lost their substitute Justin Bryant when he was sent from the field. That really should have spelt danger for them. Leeds were looking confident at that point in time, and a lot of credit must go to this Paris side for at least not throwing the towel in.
That's true, and the decision to send Justin Bryant from the field will be looked at in the cold light of day, but it certainly did Paris no favours whatsoever. Here's Hughes. He dabs it through. Hughes, he's chasing it himself. Whoa, and risky business from Freddie Bonke, but he got away with it.
Good positioning, though, by the winger. He anticipated that the kick was coming through. There was fine work there by Bonke.
Well, Paris just about assured of survival, courtesy of their win in Paris against London a couple of weeks ago. Bloomfield, good tackling. Hassan and Iro. Wolf to Onta. Here's Griffiths again, who's shown up quite well. One or two big hits, and he's taken one or two as well since he's been on the field from Wakefield Rugby Union. And Parry with the kick downfield, which will just spin its way over the dead ball line.
Sheer desperation there by Jules Parry, the second rower. There's no chasers there. Of no concern really for the full-back. Saint-Hilaire.
now. Terry Newton. Leeds looking to finish with a flourish.
Well,
Give their fans something to think about.
Newton wanted to. He was looking for someone to run onto it.
This is Fozzard on halfway. That's it. All over. Leeds have won 34 points to 12. And Dean Bell, the day will be remembered because he made his comeback to First Team Super League. Made his debut in the summer competition. Gary Mercer has worked hard. And Graham Holroyd has certainly been the star of the show. 22 out of Leeds' 34 points for the young scrum half. He has worked hard. Leeds have worked hard. It's been a hard-fought victory, albeit in a scrappy match from start to finish. Leeds have won it 34 points to 12. Holroyd 2, Kemp, Shaw, Bell. Holroyd kicked 7 goals. Paris reduced to 12 men, and then 11 with the sin bin. Tries from Bird and Bloomfield, the goals from Smith. So a victory for Leeds, and no doubt it has pleased their player coach, Dean Bell. Well, Dean, all the photographers waited at the end to see if you scored a try, and you came up and you obliged.
Yeah, it was, you know, once I broke from my own 20-metre mark, I was okay, but once I ran around the fullback and stepped inside the wing, it was quite good. It was a good feeling.
When did you take the decision to play?
It's been on my mind all week, really, and I suppose I really didn't make up my mind until yesterday morning. I've been training in that position all week, more out of necessity than anything, because Kevin Iro's been struggling with an Achilles problem, so, you know, he's just turning up game for game. So, yeah, and I got the feel of it, and I quite enjoy it, so I thought, well, I'll get out there, and, you know, it was just a must-win today, so I had to do what